Welcome to South Dakota's Haunted History. This list of 10 is part of a playlist of gentle listening spooky collections from across the USA. The screen fades to black so you can enjoy the stories without distractions if relaxing, studying or wanting to sleep. Please do consider a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. First is somewhere that Julie and myself have visited, Mount Moriah Cemetery in Deadwood. It's the burial place of Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane, Seth Bullock and Madame Dora Dufran, colourful characters from the days of the Wild West. In fact, the town itself still looks like a movie set for Wild West films, if you see what I mean. The hillside cemetery was established in 1878, and within which it's quite easy to find Wild Bill Hickok's grave. Well, in the daytime, there are likely to be people there already. It's a place where you know you're looking at something important from America's history. Even when I lived in England, he was as famous as Jesse James or Billy the Kid. The cemetery is where Julie had a clear mental impression of Calamity Jane shouting, "They got Bill! They got Bill!" Aside from our own thoughts and Julie's experience, staff members closing up for the night have seen shadowy figures moving around and locked gates will suddenly open. Second is Sheechar Hollow State Park near Sisseton, South Dakota. Native Americans named the area Sheechar, which means evil or bad. Streams and bog areas look blood red because of heavy deposits of iron, leading some to believe the flesh and blood of their ancestors is flowing in those streams. Also, phosphorus from rotting tree stumps makes the wood look like it's glowing a bright green. Add those effects and visuals to heavy mists and swamp gas for a very eerie location. In recent years, visitors have reported hearing drums beating and war whoops in the area, also have seen ghosts of Native American people. Distant campfires have been seen that can never be found, and there have been reports of a Bigfoot type of creature described as half man, half beast. And number 3 is Hooky Jack, a famous spirit found in Rapid City, South Dakota. There was a mining explosion in the 1800s where a man, John Leary, lost an eye and part of both of his arms. Hooks were fitted to what remained of his arms, such that he could have some use out of them, and hence his nickname. He became a Rapid City police officer, but was killed when he was struck by a car in 1926. Nowadays, his ghost is said to haunt the 3rd floor of where he lived, which is now a tavern. Employees don't want to go to the 3rd floor unless they have to, and several have refused to work the late shift alone. Their reason is because of voices from upstairs being heard, of rattling noises and other eerie sounds. The owner's security cameras have caught strange flashing lights and orbs. Multiple witnesses inside the tavern have seen chairs and tables move, also the billiard balls moving around on the table on their own. A few bartenders have reported seeing someone sitting at the end of the bar from the corner of an eye, but when they look properly, there's no one there. For number 4, we have an interesting haunted road. Known to locals as Spook Road, this eerie stretch just outside of Brandon has quite the collection of creepy occurrences under its belt. The road winds through tunnels, runs over bridges, and through lines of trees, with a look to it that locals claim is especially unnerving in the fall and winter months. One urban legend states that driving in one direction will take you over 5 bridges, but on the way back you'll only cross 4. Allegedly, people who unalive themselves can still be seen hanging from the bridges and from several trees, their corpses watching you as you travel through. Some say that apparitions have suddenly appeared on the road in front of them, only to vanish just as quickly as they appeared. Halfway along our list we have Easton Castle. Easton Castle, also known as the Yellow Brick House, was built in 1889 in Aberdeen, South Dakota. This 30-room, 3-story mansion had yellow bricks added to the exterior in 1902, when Carol Francis Easton took ownership. That change gave the castle the look that it's famous for, with its round turret on one end. An interesting note is that the housekeeper was Leslie Gage, the niece of L. Frank Baum, author of Wizard of Oz. Leslie was the inspiration behind Dorothy. Rumour has it that she haunts the 3rd floor, but she's been seen all throughout the home. The Easton's son took over the house when his parents died, but it fell into disrepair when he became reclusive and hid away in the now haunted house. The property became run down, which only further helped the stories of ghostly goings-on there. It's since been restored, but retains its mystery footsteps, creaking stairs, and disembodied voices. Apparently, there's also a knife-wielding psycho spirit within it that chased one person out of the house. At number 6, we have the Orpheum Theatre in Sioux Falls. The spirit there is fondly referred to as Larry, who may be the ghost of an actor who disappeared during a dress rehearsal many years ago. Apparently, when the sound of a gunshot rang out from the light booth, his fellow actors ran up to investigate, but found no one. All they saw was a pool of blood, and no body was ever found. The Orpheum Theatre first opened in 1913, but changed hands in 1954. The new owners were said to have found a casket in the boiler room, but when they came back later to clean things out, the casket was gone. Reports of strange noises and sightings of a shadowy figure became common in the old theatre, and one of the more intriguing reports happened in 1959. That was when actor Ray Loftusness became one of many to see the shadow man, Larry, on the balcony. On that particular night, he said the man was illuminated by the green and blue lights from the stage and was pointing directly at him. Loftusness claimed he was hit by an icy blast of air and, twice that same night, was hit by falling sandbags from above the stage, with one knocking him unconscious. At number 7 is the Bullock Hotel, which is another famous location in Deadwood. The historic Bullock Hotel in Deadwood was built between 1894 and 1896. It might be familiar from such shows as Unsolved Mysteries and Ghost Adventures. The original owner, Seth Bullock, was also the first sheriff of Deadwood and is who is believed to haunt the hotel. Many people have heard his boots thumping steadily down the corridor and have smelled the smoke from his favourite brand of cigars wafting through the air. The cellar has a restaurant business operating in it, Seth's Cellar, which is where most paranormal activity has been witnessed. Restaurant staff have heard the eerie sound of a piano playing ragtime tunes, and glassware is often shattered after being flung through the air by an invisible force. At number 8 is Mount Moriah College, which sits on the bluffs overlooking the Missouri River. The college is relatively small and was founded in 1936 for around 1,000 students to attend. Today it's a Catholic Benedictine liberal arts college. The hotspot for paranormal tales is Whitby Hall, a residence that first opened in 1955. That area is said to be haunted by the ghost of a man who wears grey polyester pants, also by several men in blue suits and a white mist-like figure with no defined shape. At one point the sightings were so common in room 200 that it was left locked up and untouched for years. Another area with ghost sightings is Corby Hall. The elevator there is haunted by a young woman. She is believed to be the spirit of a woman who disappeared from the college under mysterious circumstances. For number 9, we have the Hotel Alex Johnson in Rapid City. The hotel was opened in 1928 with great fanfare, being hailed as the showplace of the West. 10 years later, Alex Johnson himself died in the hotel in 1938, and according to hotel staff, he's still there, as well as several other spirits. 2 rooms are most known for paranormal happenings, room 802 and room 812. Room 802 has had reports of phantom music playing when no radio or anything else is switched on. There's also been the feeling of being choked. Room 812 is where windows will pop open on their own, and it has a classic of an event occur. That is, people step out of the shower and "Help me" will be written on the bathroom mirror. The reason for the writing is said to be because a bride-to-be was staying in the room and jumped from the room's window on her wedding day. Finally, the Spirit Mound near Vermilion has long been feared by Native Americans. They've traditionally gone nowhere near it for fear of what are called little devils, and a legend which says they will fiercely guard the mound. The legend, which was first documented in 1804, explains how these little devils will shoot magic arrows at anyone who tries to climb up it, and details a massacre of Native Americans that makes the mound taboo today. Somewhere around the mid-18th century, hundreds of Native American warriors allegedly attempted to rid the world of the evil little creatures, but it was they who ended up being slaughtered instead. So now they stay away and leave the mounds to the little devils. Thank you for joining me on this little journey. From famous graves to falling sandbags, South Dakota has some excellent mysteries to explore. I hope you'll be here for the next one. Tennessee.